Hi, this is Mike Glenn, and this is our first podcast. So, I thought I would begin the podcast by answering one of the questions I get asked most. One of the questions that people always want to know is, how do I get started reading the Bible? Well, my first smart aleck answer is, well, just start. You can't find a wrong place to read in the Bible, and you can't really do it a wrong way. Just start. There's something about opening a Bible and reading that lets you know that you're in the presence of the author. And when that happens, then the Bible will bring its own meaning to you. That's the reason we talk about the Bible being inspired. But here are some practical steps. They're real easy, but they'll help you get started. First, begin with the Gospel of Mark. The Gospel of Mark was the first gospel written, and it was written very fast. We think it was written maybe while Peter was in prison and John Mark was in Rome, and he wrote down Peter's recollections because a lot of the eyewitnesses were being killed in the execution. So Peter told Mark, and Mark wrote it down very fast. In fact, Mark's favorite word in the book is immediately. He tells people Jesus moved immediately to this or immediately to that. But it's a real short book. You can literally read it at one sitting. It's 16 chapters. It begins with Jesus' adult life. And the purpose of the reading is for you to know more about Jesus. Now, I want you to read the Gospel of Mark, then reread it. Then read it again. I want you to know the life of Jesus. I know you're excited about it. You want to get started and read the whole Bible, and you want to read the Bible through in a month or 2 months or whatever it is. But this is not a race. The purpose of the reading of the scriptures is to know Jesus, not to be fast, not to get smarter, but to know Jesus. So after you read the Gospel of Mark, read Matthew and Luke. Matthew and Luke used Mark as an outline. They started with the Gospel of Mark and then added their own stories to it. So you'll recognize Matthew and Luke very quickly. After you do that, read the Gospel of John. Read the Gospel of John last. Why? John, while my favorite book, is the poet of the gospel writings. He doesn't care about history. He puts things in different orders. What he's trying to help you understand is the meaning, not the history, but the meaning. So my counsel to you is start with Mark, then read Matthew and Luke. When you have read them and read them and read them so you can almost quote them verbatim, then read the Gospel of John. When you finish the Gospel of John, then read the book of Acts. Acts is about how the early church got started. Then read the book of Ephesians. The book of Ephesians is a very basic manual about what it means to be a Christian. The good church in Ephesus wrote Paul a letter and said, hey, we're Christians, now what? And Paul writes some very practical advice. Now that's where I get started. Now, find you a Bible you like. This is mine. It's kind of an old Bible, but it's a very familiar Bible to me. This Bible kind of knows me. We've been through a lot together. It's a New American Standard Version. It's just the version I had in seminary. I'm very comfortable with this translation. The translation really doesn't matter. They're all pretty good. So find one that you like, that you're going to feel comfortable in reading. Read very slowly. Read until something kind of makes you go, And when that happens, get your journal. This is mine. And no, you can't look at it. There are thoughts, there are questions, there are things I'm going through and how the Bible made me think about it. And you do that every time you sit down. Now, the goal is to do it every day. Realistically, you're probably not going to do it every day, but do it as much as you can and get into the habit of showing up at the same place at the same time every day. Open your Bible, read till you go, and then write down your thoughts and the lesson that you think Jesus is teaching you. It's one of the few times that we get to sit in the presence of the author and say, this is what you wrote. Now tell me what it means. I hope that helps you get started. Stay tuned for some more blogs, and we'll deal with the practical applications of tangible ways that you can follow Jesus in your everyday life.